effect, swagger, and the Jedi's in sight. It's a comic book cocktail, shaken and stirred. We're the coolest cats in the whole nerd herd.
Man,
Grab your badge
I
and strike.
forgot to push the go live button, and all you people, you should have been there. You should have been there for the first 10 minutes. We solved world hunger. All right. Cookie has a peace plan for the Middle East. All
I
right.
did a big
We
dance.
had it all down.
I'm actually disappointed because I was enjoying our conversation, damn it.
Oh God, we were having such a good conversation. Yeah.
Yeah.
For those who don't know, what we were talking about
There you
is
A boot.
the fact that Star Trek, they have completely shut down all of the current producer, Alex Kurtzman's productions. I mean, they did. We still have Strange New Worlds is going to be done out to season 5. So they already have season 4 in the can, and they're going to shoot season 5. But that was known that that's going to only go for 5 seasons. But
Yeah.
Starfleet Academy, they have, and that was the thing too. I always felt weird about that with the fact that they greenlit season 2 before season 1 was ever even viewed by a single reviewer.
Well, yeah,
And-
because they had money in it for it, though. You got to remember, and I'm not going to sit here and complain about DEI budgeting or anything like that, but when there's money out there, there wasn't any of that.
Well, no, I'm agreeing with you. I'm not going to sit here
yeah.
and complain either. It's just
I'm
it
not
just seemed
complaining
weird to
about it,
me.
just that sometimes things get greenlit just based on that, on the money there for it. And,
Yeah.
people tend to forget, even on like the Marvel shows that we'll watch for fandom's sake, that's all just so those actors can work, those producers can work. They all need money. So even if they got to make a piece of shit, like, because it'll become relevant later in the show tonight, like Velma was, because I will bash that show.
What show?
Velma, the animated Velma TV show.
Thelma, yeah.
Yeah.
That was super special. No, but so now, because as I was saying, Alex Kurtzman, who is the producer with Secret Hideout as his production company, since he apparently they would have to go through him to get rights to anything that he's made since Discovery in 2017. So Discovery, the Strange New Worlds, the Picard, and all these others. So the talk is right now that if anything is going to be greenlit here coming up, there's 2 fan favorites that might be greenlit. One is Star Trek Legacy, which is basically a continuation of Picard. They bring all the old crew back on.
I heard about that. I hope that happens.
I don't. I mean, they're riding the nostalgia train into the freaking ground.
They fucking
And I'm
did
sorry,
that now.
I really don't want to see geriatrics in space. Where'd you go? Beard, you stopped recording. Well, hey, what's up, Kelly? Apparently it's just me right now. And John and Cookie dropped off. It was like, I literally, okay, people, and I'm really sorry about this. We started off like exactly at 7, and we were all talking about how, it must be the weather and everything in the atmosphere right now that we were just not feeling it today. And apparently I was so not feeling it, I started the music and I forgot to push start on the record. So that is all on me, and I apologize about that.
What a day, man. And I just got kicked off and I don't know what happened there.
I don't know either. But the 2 fan favorites, one, like I said, I don't want to see geriatrics in space, and that's just me when it comes to that. But the other fan favorite is there is one. God, why does the name of but basically what it's what the whole concept is how the guy who played Captain Archer in Enterprise, right?
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
I forget his name.
I know his name. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quantum Leap.
But it's basically him as Archer, as the first president of United Federation of Planets. So taking it all the way back to him being the first president of United Federation of Planets. And and all the stuff like that. And I'm hoping for that because it's about that time span is when the Romulan War is. A lot of people who aren't, like totally steeped in the fucking nerdiness that is Ash right here, don't realize that before there was even a Klingon war, there was a Romulan war, and that's what actually got the whole Federation together to begin with. Was the Romulans were coming in just swinging big dick in the locker room, and basically it was Scott Bakula. Thank you, Michelle. It was up to Earth with the backing of everybody else in order to be able to put them back into place.
Oh, there, man. I was on the wrong chat. I'd been kicked off. Sorry, guys. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Kelly. Make sure I didn't miss anything. What's up, my nerds, you two, Cookie?
Huh?
Kelly says, what's up, my nerds, you two, Cookie? He didn't even insult you. He actually segregated you
He
from
actually fucking must miss me. You know what I'm saying?
us. So that at first when you said you don't want to see geriatrics in space, I kind of do. I'm okay with it. That was my problem with the new Star Wars movies. Not enough geriatrics in space.
I would
I would
rather
like to
see
see some of
Picard
the-
with a walker than a Klingon in a dress. Just me,
I could see it. I don't know how they did that character in this series. I know you guys were talking about that character earlier. To me, I could see a Klingon that wears a dress and is he homosexual in the series?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I
And it's
Oh,
not
no. Hold on here, Cookie. You're wrong.
Yeah.
He is one of many homosexuals.
Oh
the
yeah,
series.
yeah.
Like
Matter of fact,
Okay, and
Matter of
let
fact,
me state
the
I
heterosexuals, the heterosexuals are by far the minority in that
yes,
series.
that is true.
Really?
Yeah, and at this point, you think that as human beings would just breed each other out because I mean, they can't. But I actually look to see. Oh man, is that some kind of different kind of uniform? Is that a Klingon kilt? Is that some kind of battle skirt? Or no, it's the same dress the girls wear. Exactly the same dress the girls wear.
My thing is that that's not a problem. If you look all the way back to Star Trek Next Generation, Season 1, Episode 1, all right? Season 1, Episode 1, when they're doing that first saucer separation and they're like, all the civilians and non-essential personnel into the saucer and everybody, because they're having to deal with the whole thing. I mean, and it's been pointed out that even in that episode, there was a guy walking out, with the crowd, wearing a dress.
Okay, here's what happened. He was banging this chick that he shouldn't have been there. Their clothes were all over the fucking ground because they were butt naked. And they called an emergency. He put her shit on because he didn't want to die.
Well, to me, that's not a big deal at all because Star Trek has always been very inclusive. So seeing a guy in a dress, that's a nothing sandwich for me on that. A Klingon, though, with them having that very Viking mentality, my weirdness around it is simply because it's Klingon. If it was any other race,
Mine too.
I don't think I'd have an issue with it. But to say that during that period of time they had no issues with Klingons being homosexual, and then the way they are represented, even though it's not addressed in almost every other piece of media from Star Trek, it doesn't line up. And that's my worry behind it.
And he walks around and he acts tough. He's got a real deep voice, and he'll just walk up and people say, "Oh, you got to have your Klingon fight your battles for you," and he goes, "No," and he's talking real deep and tough and shit. You know what? See, I would laugh so hard I'd piss myself if that walked up to me and I was supposed to be impressed with it. You know what I'm saying? It just.
I mean, who was it? I think it was Eddie Murphy in one of his, routines back in the day, either Delirious or Raw or whatever. I think it was Delirious. He said, what a lot of people forget is, and pardon me, but it was in the 80s. So Eddie Murphy said fag. He said, what a lot of people forget is that fag's a dude and he'll kick your ass. All right.
No, not that dude. Now, hey, I do know some really tough fags.
Whoa.
Okay, gay guys. I mean, and I respect the hell of they have grown up their whole life with people fucking with them.
And they can fight like a motherfucker. I'm telling you,
yeah,
man.
dude, they will throw rocks at a motherfucker like crazy.
Yeah.
Well, and to me, like I say, it's not the gay thing at all here.
No,
To
It's
me,
the
it's the
writing.
retconning the culture. That's
Yeah.
the thing.
Well, to me, it's the writing, and like, okay, when you had the more, the Next Generation, the DS9, the Voyager, and all the stuff like that, you had, whatever their situation or alien of the week that they had to deal with. All right, and if there was any kind of interpersonal things going on or any kind of side stories and stuff like that, that was all. It was acknowledged, it was taken care of, but it was all ancillary to the big problem that they were solving that week in that episode.
Right. It wasn't
Now
the issue.
they make those they make those interpersonal situations the focus, and whatever's going on is the side thing. And I
Right.
think that they just flipped that and they put the focus on the wrong stuff, in my
Now,
opinion.
back to the writing, I mean, and just so not everybody's getting me wrong on this, I got nothing against that. The other Star Trek with Spock's sister, what's that called?
Discovery.
Discovery. Okay, is that the one that it had a black doctor and an engineer? Yeah, I think it was that. They were gay. Their
Yeah.
story, I got so much in those guys. That was written perfectly.
Yeah.
I got so much into their stories. I was like, man, this fucking sad, dude. That was all written perfectly. I loved that.
Yeah.
But this stuff now, no,
Well, and
no.
I don't know. I haven't seen it, so I can't judge on it too much. But
And-
the last thing I'll throw in there is, didn't the Orville do this right?
Yes.
Why do they got to redo it if the Orville already have all their Klingon-like characters are all gay, right?
Because the
And
Orville-
they
Oh,
did a
100%.
good
It
job
was,
with it.
it was a male-only society.
Yeah, I thought that was good. That almost seems like Star Trek trying to keep up with the Orville. Then,
exactly, the Orville worked.
Yeah.
People watched it.
yeah.
And the Orville knew how to do a beauty shot of a ship flyby. I mean, you could tell that whoever was doing the filmography for that really enjoyed the real grandeur of the ships. And
Yeah.
as someone who likes the ships, I like that.
So, what do you think about the new ship? I don't like it at all.
I don't like it because it's a classroom. I don't like it.
The
I mean,
new
and don't get me wrong,
Orville,
there have
on
been-
the new Star Trek.
Oh.
Yeah, there have been ships out there that are training ships. That's understandable. But the training ship doesn't come in, ditch half the ship up into orbit, and then come down and become a faculty building. All right.
Yeah.
And also, from a modeler point of view, I don't like the fact that it has the detached nacelles, because how the hell am I going to model that?
Right. And how do the people who work in those nacelles, they've got to have techs that work in those nacelles. How do they get to the main disc? You know?
See, that's the whole thing. In that 32nd century that they're in, they're supposedly have their site-to-site transportation down to where it's just all done off of their comm badge, and that contains everything for site-to-site transport. You don't need a transporter setup anymore. It's in the badge.
That's crazy, man.
I know, but the thing is it's there when they want to, but they keep forgetting it when it comes to plot devices. And that was another thing too, is the fact that, the people who are writing this really have not watched Star Trek, because they throw so much stuff in there that has been already answered before. And why the hell out? Like, okay, like the big thing, the burn, right? That was the whole
Yep,
thing,
yep,
was
yep,
the burn.
yep.
Do you know what that is, John?
No, I do not.
Okay, well, in Discovery, when they popped from pre Captain Kirk days to 1,000 years into the future, all right, when they show up, the galaxy has been thrown into turmoil because like 50 or so years before, all of the dilithium that was being used by everybody for power sources all went kablooey at the same time. So it just tore everything apart, and they couldn't do warp travel anymore. All right, there was very, very little amounts of dilithium that people could use. It was a very precious resource. And the reasoning for that was stupid. I won't even go into that. But the thing is they say, oh, we didn't have the dilithium, so we couldn't. I mean, never mind the fact that the Romulans had a singularity drive, an artificial singularity drive in the Romulan warbirds, the Daenerys. They don't even need the lithium for that. I mean, so like the Romulans all of a sudden forgot that they have a completely different means for travel. It's just, yeah.
Kelly says the AI chick was the worst. Was there an AI chick in that too?
She was okay, man.
There,
thought-
yeah,
I
and
thought
that
she
was another
was.
problem too. Is she, like in Voyager, you had the hologram doctor,
I love that dude. Love that dude, man.
right? Robert Picardo.
I've worked with him a lot of times. He's actually a cool dude.
He's actually an
Yeah,
artist.
he is. But well, now that there's an entire colony that is all holograms people, and they sent their first emissary to be a student at the Starfleet Academy, and so she's a hologram person, and she's only has hologram abilities when it's convenient for the plot, and she forgets that she's a hologram when it's convenient for the plot.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll give you that. But it adds an extra. Her different abilities add an extra layer to everything.
Yeah.
That I kind of like. It kind of a data layer, like Data could do. Shit Data could
That's
do.
what they were shooting for.
Well, it seems like there's always that Spock Data kind of.
Well, they didn't go so much with her being super, science and logical like Spock and Data were. They went with her being quirky and a fresh new outlook on the human existence.
The thing that gets me is in the other series is the doctor had to wear a special thing around his arm that was his hologram projector.
It's
Because-
portable hollow emitter.
Right, because he couldn't, unless he was in the med bay, he couldn't go nowhere.
Or the
they made him
holodeck.
that, but this chick can just show up anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
That's great.
everywhere that she's going, and that's the thing, is in this, 32nd century, there's hollow emitters everywhere now. So she
And
can
that
go
means-
wherever there's hollow emitters at. And that's one of the problems that, like, on the first episode, all right. We'll get to that in a second, Michelle. In the first episode, when the ship is being attacked and everything is shut down, and the hollow emitters are all shut off because whatever, because of all the damage and stuff like that, so they're missing all of their hologram doctors in order to be able to help.
Yeah.
Well, her is a man. Where'd you go? Why you got to do that stuff? I don't believe this. I swear. And maybe he'll come back. Maybe he'll come back right now. Nope, he's not going to come back. But anyways, so Michelle, you were saying it's like 7 of 9 when they brought her onto Voyager. Well, when they brought her on, I mean, really, the whole thing was if the ratings were starting to slip on Voyager, so they brought her on as eye candy. But it just so happens she's such a great actor that she held her own through force of acting and personality. So she was really kick-ass. But they still kept doing everything sexified on her and stuff like that, which is something I didn't like, because then they took the wrong lesson from that when they went to do Enterprise, the show Enterprise, and they said, hey, we had 7 of 9, she was all sexy, that got the ratings back up on Voyager, so for Enterprise we'll have every freaking thirst trap we can think of with them rubbing lotion on each other and all kinds of crap like that. And I really felt like that. I was uncomfortable every time they did that. It just did not make me feel good.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
What a mess. You think good?
Yeah, we were talking about Star Trek and how they were trying to sexualize it to.
That's what we've been talking about the whole episode.
He was talking about it. but-
Okay.
It's 7 of 9 when they brought in 7 of 9 to Voyager. At first, like Kate Mulgrew, the captain, she was all kind of like, do we really need this person? Do we really need to have like a thirst trap on here? But then, like I said, her acting abilities were just so damn good. Kate Mulgrew
That's
was
what
like,
I was going to
you
say.
know what? Kicks ass.
That's what I was going to say too with 7 of 9. She was so good playing that role that I wasn't looking to her to say, "Oh man, look at those boobies." I mean, I know a lot of people did, but she fit in, and her character was needed there. There was a niche for her character.
It
You know?
was.
Yep.
It was needed more than Neelix was. God, I hated that pedophile.
Oh, he
Um,
was okay, man. But yeah, no, yeah, the doctor was much better. The hologram doctor is much better than Neelix.
Neelix was
yeah,
the
Neelix.
one too, right?
Yeah,
I liked him, damn it.
he was okay. Yeah, but
Neelix. No, the problem was is that from the get go, he was way, way, way overprotective of his relationship with this 2-year-old individual.
I guess I don't remember that.
2-year-old, she was older than that. What?
Her race max lifespan was like 9 years old. That was their max
I didn't know
lifespan.
that.
So she was only like 2-3 years old, and he was all that was really creepy. And nowadays, that's like
Yeah, that was
straight up Republican Trump kind of creep.
Mike says he was needy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Cass was the issue, Michelle says. All right.
Yeah, Kes was the name of his love interest, and she left the show pretty much.
She was
I think
the
it was like
Parasite girl,
third
right?
season. What?
That was the Parasite girl, right?
No, she wasn't Parasite.
Oh, okay. Then I was thinking. I thought Cass was Cass was the younger looking girl with the pixie cut and stuff, right?
Yeah, basically.
All right.
As far as we've had talks about strong women characters, and why they're doing what they're doing today when they have so many good, strong women characters from the past. Janeway is one of those just kick-ass bitches to me.
I love
I
Janeway.
disagree.
I love Janeway. I think she's a
Yeah,
I love-
Janeway was just the right amount of
Yep.
the soft female. I'm going to take care of that what you
She was
want
still
from
a
a
woman.
female. Just that soft velvet over an iron fist glove. Because as
Exactly.
soon as you fucked with her, she was like, "All right, it's on, bitches." And
Well,
I like
to
her.
her, turn the other cheek means you got one free shot. The other one,
Yeah.
I'm gonna punch you back.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I like that actress a lot.
I do too.
I did not like that character, and that was one of the reasons I never got into Voyager hard.
I
I watched
her.
all of Voyager. I just
Man, I thought Janeway was badass. She's right up there with Sigourney Weaver to me.
no, they tried to make her tougher than she was in my book. They tried to give her that hard cast iron bitch kind of thing without giving her the backing
The dude I
of
didn't
being a cast iron bitch.
I see her.
was
I
Chakotay.
see her as a less comical version of the captain on Treasure Planet.
Okay. I could not really see that, but okay, I'm gonna go with it
Because
I love
because
you.
she was all like, "Oh, I mean," but you didn't mess with her. You didn't
Yeah,
mess
yeah.
with her at all. Yeah, and she was the boss. There was no doubt about it.
She
She
was
was the
the
boss of
boss.
that boat.
All right, well we're 44 minutes in, so or 34 minutes in, maybe good.
Yeah,
Oh, good, only 34.
Or 24 if you don't count my flub up.
I'm segueing. I was going to take an element you had, which was the fans going where they go, "This isn't for you," because that is a topic in one of my fandoms right now with the new Scooby-Doo live action series coming out. I would say that might be my geekasm because they finally released the synopsis and all of the casting for it.
Is it good?
Yeah, actually, it's pretty good. The storyline I'm a little iffy on. Everything looks good, and that's what's causing a little bit of the
Trepidation.
yeah. So it is a younger cast, all in their 20s, which is fine because Scooby-Doo, they're supposed to be teenagers.
Well,
So,
teenagers back in the 60s, back when teenager meant you were full adult, as opposed to teenager now where we realize, oh, your brain still has another 6 years to fully form. So sit the fuck down.
Yeah.
Bye. God, he keeps just like bouncing off. And I know it's not my feed. It's definitely got to be their feed. So anyway, let's see how long it takes them to pop back in this time. What were you saying there, Michelle? The Janeway we got was a lot better than the first. Oh yeah, the first actress. Don't get me wrong, she was decent, but she was just not a good fit for that whole boat. I don't see that at all on that one. And Yeah. Oh, seriously, I'm serious. We had this great conversation. Hey, look, he's back again. I hit yeah. Where'd they go? There he is. Are you back? It's not showing you. There you are.
On man.
What was,
There you are.
what
There.
was Michelle saying? Something happened and we went gone.
She was saying that Janeway we got was a lot better than the first actress that they had for the part. It's kind of like how Back to the Future they had before
Oh, yeah.
Michael J. Fox
Eric
they
Stoltz.
had that Eric Stoltz dude.
Eric Stoltz, yeah.
That dude's
Yeah, he
fucking
was
weird,
supposed to
man.
be playing the part of Marty McFly, and apparently that was like oil and water, and so he was ousted, and Marty came in. I got it. Well, Michael J. Fox got it.
Yeah,
Why
at
do you
least, at
keep
least we got that.
bouncing,
You know, I
dude?
mean, movies where we ended up just getting the original bad casting they had.
Oh well, hell, what wasn't Indiana Jones originally going to be like Magnum PI did?
I would actually been fine with that. I saw the test screening for that shit. I would have been fine with Tom Selleck as
Tom
Indiana
Selleck,
Jones.
you guys ever watch Quigley Down Under?
Yes, so good.
Man, that is so good. He's so good.
Yeah.
My only problem is that he would be great in the swashbuckling part of it, but he looms too much to be good as the as the professor part.
Well, and it would have been it would have been edited differently, shot differently, and everything with a different actor there.
He's too damn
His
tall.
demeanor and his tone, he can say something in a calm voice and you pay attention, you know?
Yeah.
He's just fucking cool that way. He's like an old
if you remember, I think it was the first Indiana Jones when he's teaching in the class and the one girl blinks her eyes and she's written "I love you" across her eyelids. All right.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford's character, you can see being uncomfortable. All right. Tom Selleck's character would dip his wick. All right.
Yeah, Magnum PI would have did this. He would have went, "Fuck me."
All right, I'm gonna jump back on the Scooby thing I was talking about earlier. Ian's asking about the Halo series, which I got thoughts on. I'm gonna jump on this first though before I jump down that rabbit hole. So the casting for Scooby-Doo, the only real well-known one that they did would be Daphne, which is McKenna Grace, who was on Young Sheldon. She's also the new Phoebe Spengler from. She's Egon Spengler's daughter in the new Ghostbusters.
Who'd she play on Young Sheldon?
She was the smart. I can't remember her name on it, but she was the smart girl that was a friend of his that was as smart as Sheldon was.
Oh
yeah. Here I'm pulling up an image of her.
So
let's see here. Open a new
casting
tab.
looks good. They released the costumes. They all are very reminiscent of the original costumes. They've announced everybody but Scooby, but that's okay. So there's McKenna Grace. I mean, you could probably even find they've got a picture now of her as Daphne out there too, but that's okay.
She'd make a good Daphne.
Yeah, she's actually a really good actress. She'd probably made a good Velma as well. Way better than the last Velma we got.
Yeah,
or two Velmas ago.
I loved it when Sarah Michelle Gellar played Daphne.
Yeah. For those live action movies were some of the best, in my opinion. I loved those live action movies.
Yeah.
So the controversy with it, like, I'm excited for the new series. The synopsis is that they Daphne and Shaggy end up finding they're trying to save a random Great Dane pup, most likely Scooby-Doo, while they're at summer camp. And so it's going to be the team meeting and going on their first adventure shit. That I don't like because
as long as Uncle Ben doesn't have to die, they can do a startup.
Well,
all right.
you say summer camp. Am I getting Jason Voorhees vibes on?
I hope so. I hope they throw.
That would be cool.
That could be cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Matter of fact,
Except for it'll probably turn out to be like a Dale and Tucker versus Evil.
I would be okay with that.
I love that
No
show.
problem with that. So that synopsis I'm not real wild about because it's just another retconning of stuff. Because Scooby, for anybody who's a Scooby fan, they have so many origin stories. Nobody can go, I know all the canon for Scooby because it is fucking everywhere, man. So they're gonna try to reestablish a canon, and that's okay. It's just gonna be messy. But the rest looks great. But the problem among Scooby fans is, or not even Scooby fans, people in general who I don't want to say the hardcore fans, but just general fans are the ones that are causing the issues. But it's because of the Velma TV show mostly. I think people forget that we got the Scoob movie, which was really good, and they're saying, "Oh, we finally get a good Scooby thing," because everything they put out just sucks lately. And Scooby Doo's a hit and miss thing. Like you get two good Scooby things and you get one shit one, two good ones, one shit one, two good one. Kind of like how every other Star Trek's movies.
We do not speak of the odd numbered Star Trek
Right.
movies. Yeah.
So we are due for a good one. That Scoob movie was real good, but that Velma TV show sucked so bad it turned so many fans against it, which means now everybody is, for some reason, instead of going, "Oh, they got us good actors," they're trying to pay tribute to all the original stuff instead of trying to reimagine it like they have been. Because even with the Scoob movie, they said we're reimagining it. With Velma, they literally went to the Scooby fans and said, "This isn't for you," and we got those shits. And then right before that, there was the live action Daphne and Velma on TV, which sucked and was for young preteens and the LGBTQ crowd.
It's like we were talking about when I forgot to push, go live, and we came up with all the plans to save the world. Amongst all that, in that 10 minutes, we had also discussed how the woke pendulum has already reached its apex and is beginning its backward slide. And that is probably, hopefully is going to be one of the things. I mean, and I'm not hoping that it does a complete swing in the opposite direction. I'm hoping that like this Scooby-Doo movie, show hits
I think we're
when it's
getting it
about
right in the
midway,
right?
and you get a good balance.
And that's where I am. I'm like, oh, that's a perfect analogy of where I am, because I feel like we're getting a good Scoob, and everybody's bitching because we've gotten bad. So it's like a bad reward for doing a good job on this new series so far. Is as they do stuff that's good, the fans are coming out and going, "About time, better not fuck this up." That kind of attitude, and it's like, man, just they're making a good thing. Let them make a good thing without criticizing them. Say, great casting. Oh, I love the synopsis of this. I love the idea of this. Whatever you want to say, costuming looks great. Say those things, but they're bashing on it because they're doing a good job. And that
could it be? Could it possibly be with them redoing the Scoob thing? All right. And all the stuff that they're now trying to do with the Star Wars, where it's swinging away from the Alkalite, and the new Star Treks, where hopefully they're going to go and do some stuff in previous eras that are not as controversial. Could it be that we are heading into a not a golden age, but like a silver nostalgia age? Because we know Hollywood is not gonna put themselves out to put out any new IP. They're gonna try to milk old IP for as long as they can. So maybe, hopefully, we might be getting into the silver age of IP. IP silver age. Mark, fucking patent that shit. Let's copyright that.
I hope so. I'll say with my Ghostbusters, the movie before last, Afterlife, they gave us that nostalgia to get us all back on board, like with the 7th Star Wars movie, like just tons of nostalgia on you to get you back. And then with the last one, they just said, okay, we'll have some nostalgia, but we're writing all new shit and we're expanding it, which I really like that. They expanded the shit out of it. Give us more of that instead of, like, one of the things that throws me off on Star Trek, they keep wanting to go back to the past and relive shit I already know about. Give me new shit.
Yeah.
I would love to see some new shit.
Exactly. Now, I finally watched the new, not the Frozen Kingdom, but the one before, Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
I finally watched it this last week.
Oh yeah, I just watched the last 3 movies with Christina. I'm trying to get her more into it. And see, that's the problem. Like with that 2016 movie, the one before Afterlife, that was literally one where they came out and said, like, this isn't for you. And
Right.
damn near destroyed the fandom with it. And I have pros and cons on that movie, but
Well,
Back-
one
back
of
to
my big
Scooby-Doo.
problems with that is during production, they said to us, this is not, I mean, they literally came out and said, this is not female empowerment. That's not what this is. And then all of the photos and stuff that they were releasing of the cast and everybody together, they're all holding signs saying female empowerment and all this stuff like that. So they lied to us straight to our faces, saying it's not, you know, a matriarchy kind of thing, you know, an opposite of a patriarchy, a matriarchy. But then that's what they were really trying to do.
well, yeah, and they every time that they did something that was of the female empowerment side of it, then they turned around immediately, like before the fans could even say anything, and went, "Oh, and the reason we're putting this in is because back in 1984, when they made that other movie, they did something sexist, so we're getting them back." And it was like, holy shit, that wasn't even sexist back in 1984. That thing they made, like one of the big ones was Janine versus Chris Hemsworth, Annie Potts character versus Chris Hemsworth character. If you watch him, matter of fact, she was empowering for females. And
Yeah.
Chris Hemsworth was typical dumb male that they all just drooled over when his shirt was off, you know. And but they put that in there because they didn't give the female character that they had in the '84 movie enough screen time. And it's like, not only did she do well, she did well enough that they gave her even more screen time, and then they made her a main character in the cartoon, and then now they've made her a fucking Ghostbuster in the new movies, and she's showcased on screen more than Bill Murray now.
Mhm.
But they're all fucking sexist sons of bitches. You know, I hate that. Putting a
I
title on
know.
people that isn't earned. So
Back to the Scooby-Doo thing. Okay, new stuff for Scooby-Doo. Yeah, and I know I've brought this up before. Have you guys seen that Scooby-Doo Apocalypse with the zombies?
yeah, that miniatures I was talking about earlier
Good
from that.
God, I wish they would make a full-blown cartoon out of that cartoon series for adults. That's really, really, really good.
There's talk on it. I doubt it'll ever happen. It has something to do with rights of who owns the storyline, because Warner Brother owns everything, but stuff out of the comics is all done through DC, which is owned by Warner Brothers. But Warner Brothers, who makes the cartoons and the Scooby stuff, doesn't have all the rights to the comic book stories. Something like that. I don't know the
Oh
whole thing.
man,
But
Yeah,
Yeah,
the whole
because-
rights thing is just a huge mumble jumble because, you know, back in the day, those comic book places that were barely holding on, you know, barely been able to afford the ink to put on the pages, they were doing anything to make money, and they were selling off rights to whoever would buy them.
the 80s and 90s were bad for that.
yep.
Star Trek and Planet of the Apes really ran into that real bad because they went on, and the only thing there for a while that was even saving Star Trek and Planet of the Apes both was the animated series on TV. But of course, none of that is considered canon to the other stuff
Oh,
because
no, Star Trek does consider the animated series in the 1970s, that is considered canon.
oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
There's a fan. I don't know if you know, but there's a lot of Star Trek fan films. But there's a Star Trek fan film group that makes their own animated series, as well as a live action.
See,
they're
and that
okay.
was one of the contentions is like right now they're celebrating, oh, it's the Star Trek 60th anniversary. They're making a big deal of that this year. All right. Because their 50th anniversary, instead of celebrating it, they spent that time suing Star Trek fans who were making a fan
Yeah.
production, because the fan production, it was the Axanar show that they had made. And it was done so well
It was.
that, I mean,
yeah.
literally, it was done better than some of the stuff that Hollywood was coming out with. And it was a fan production that instead of congratulating them on it, they turned around and sued their pants off. And so that's how they spent their 50th anniversary, was suing their own fans.
There's a lot of Star Trek actors that volunteered time to put into a lot of these fan films that
Yep.
were on. And now, if you're a Star Trek actor in your contract,
Can't do it.
you cannot do that.
Yep, can't do it. And that's the reason also that the Star Trek fan films now, you can do them, but they can only be so many minutes long. All right.
Right.
You can't go more than, I think it's like 10 minutes, something like that. I don't know. And it cannot be more than like 2 or 3 episodes. That's all you can do.
Yeah,
All right.
but they couldn't make them take the stuff off that they've already done.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think they could because it's still up on YouTube.
Real
Right.
quick, I wanted to bring this up because Mike had asked, are we going to talk about the Firefly animated that they're
Yes.
working on? I honestly, we had planned on talking about this last week because Cookie had a clip and we were going to do it all. And then me running to go get him last minute. And I guess we lost it through the shuffle and did the episode and completely forgot. But yes, the animated series, that might be a good one for next week because we're
Yeah, 'cause I
10
need-
minutes left.
I need
And
to do research on that too.
I would like to actually show a little bit of the preview stuff that they popped out for it, because that actually would be a cool deal, and also then we can tie in some of the comic book elements with it.
I saw a concept clip of the characters, just
Oh, yeah?
stills of the characters. They look pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they look pretty good.
There's
Let me see here.
Oh,
Production and creative team.
see, okay, it was when they bragged about doing better. They got. Oh, he talking about the Ghostbusters is what he was talking about when they were bragging about doing it better. It got there. Okay, I think that's what he's talking about. Let's see real quick. There's some stuff I wanted to hit. Well, my Geekgasm was going to be. Gabe got his 4-color machine in, so we got 5 machines here now, and Gabe has a setup over there that has far surpassed what I got going on now. But that's good. But now that he's got the resin set up and stuff, it is nice because we are doing some joint projects. So I'll show this one. This one is
Wow.
the Sword of Omens from Thundercats. Yep, there you go. So he's resin printing the discs in there for me, so there'll be resin and all
Nice. Now,
glowy looking and stuff.
what color printer did he get?
Be careful. It's what color?
No, what printer type did he get? What's the name, make, and model?
My Force. My mind's going blank. I'm sorry, man. It's this. I doubt you remember last November. I accidentally bought a machine when I was going to buy the machine you had.
I remember that you did, but I don't remember what it was. Was it a Flash Forge?
Flash Forge, yes, it was a Flash Forge.
Okay, so he got the
4-color
multicolor Flash Forge.
The what?
He got the multicolor Flash Forge.
Right. Yeah.
Well, he's going to be mad now
Why?
because one of my coworkers, he has a multicolor Flash Forge as well. He likes it. Don't get me wrong. He's a fan of it, but he just put in a pre-order on the new multicolor Flash Forge Creator 5, I think it's called. He sent me the link to it, and it's a multi-head one like Jonathan got.
Dang it! I don't want to tell him that because that was the only thing.
That's
that
always
he
the
didn't get.
case. As soon as you get something, it's already obsolete. That's the way this business goes.
Real quick, is that you typing in as Comcast?
No.
Who's typing this? Because I saw. a
I have
couple
no
Comcast
idea
on
who's
here.
typing that.
What's it say?
Going to Planet Comic Con this weekend.
Oh, that might be Jonathan. He made his own helmet. He's going to Planet Comic. Jonathan, is that you writing that stuff?
Yeah, he might be on the Comcast thing. Let us know. Yeah, I was debating on playing it this weekend, and I planned it. I was going to go work a booth with a buddy. We talked about it because Christy was like,
Hey,
"Well, you want to do for
Jonathan.
your birthday?" And I thought, "Oh, let's do that." Yep, yeah, it's Jonathan. All right. But then our buddy Jake from Smoke, he's getting married and he's having a engagement party this weekend. So I was going to drive to St. Louis and go do that. And
So
then
we're not bottling this weekend.
what?
So we're not bottling this weekend.
Well, no. Now I ended up with car problems, so chances are we haven't fully decided. Well, we'll decide by tomorrow morning. Chances are I'll be staying here now because it's just going to be too much to go back and forth. And since I already canceled my Planet Comic Con plans, I'm not going to try to find a room and everything last minute. So I'm just going to stay here. There were 2 things I was going to hit because Planet already got brought up, and that is this weekend. I was going to talk about that a little bit, but
Guthrie's going on.
yeah, Guthrie's going on. There's a number of things going on right now. But one I want to bring up since I had Tim here, and it's just a little thing, but did you see the Patterson Gimlin footage release.
But that's I haven't watched it. I know of it though.
So Tim and I are both Bigfoot, the paranormal, cryptozoology nut kind of stuff. This week they released some Patterson Gimlin, if that's the famous Bigfoot, first video footage of Bigfoot where you see him walking and all that.
In that video film, and that was debunked a long time ago, but go ahead.
Well, no, it wasn't debunked. People tried to debunk it. It's never been debunked until now. But just now, a guy came out and said that was me in the outfit. But then now the new debunking proves that that guy was full of shit. So, yeah, they never got debunked because Bob Gimlin is still alive and still saying, yeah, if it was fake, he faked me too. And now what the debunking you're probably talking about is the guy that came out that said that was me in the outfit. And then Patterson's son said that his mom once told him that it was faked.
And I don't believe that. I believe that's just money grabs he's trying to do.
But I mean, it's still not even debunked now, but it does look bad because the new footage that came out was some of the earlier footage they did before they filmed Bigfoot, of them sitting there with a guy in a costume and getting him all ready and doing test shots. Now, here's the deal is they were out there filming a Bigfoot documentary when they did this. And every Bigfoot documentary ever filmed has a guy in a costume, blah, blah, blah. But the simple fact that this footage exists and nobody ever mentioned it, even though the costume doesn't look the same, it does look different. But the simple fact he never mentioned it, and then now this footage shows up and it's got both Patterson and Gimlin in it, does not look good.
No.
So that's not that I'm real worried about that, because that's, to me, that footage is very much like the original Loch Ness footage, which that definitely has been debunked. And if that footage isn't real, like, it just isn't real. There's plenty of fake Bigfoot footage out there for it to join in with, and I'm okay with that.
I was going to say that even if that, which I don't believe is, you can debunk from this, what they say now, but even if they do debunk that film, it's just the first film they had of Bigfoot. It doesn't mean Bigfoot does not exist. There are far too many reports and sightings of Bigfoot, far too many things out there that prove, yes, Bigfoot exists. If you were to take it to a court of law, the proof that's out there right now is enough proof to prove that Bigfoot exists.
And see, I'm still, I know that is accurate. However, I'm still on that pendulum kind of, like, I got to be at the perfect spot for it to, because otherwise I'll see stuff and I'll go, oh no, this proof and this proof and this proof shows it's not real.
Just because there's some people out there that are full of shit doesn't mean everybody's full of shit. Let's just say 75% of it's all a fucking lie. That means 25% of it's true.
Now, seeing.
Okay. But to quote Joe Rogan here, all right, if I were to hand you a sandwich that was 75% shit and 25% ham, would you be willing to call that a ham sandwich?
No, but I wouldn't be willing to say ham doesn't exist. Yo, look, it's right there in that shit sandwich.
Yeah.
You know, besides Joe Rogan, bless his heart, fuck that dude. Just Bigfoot alone, he's like this on everything. He'll just go back and forth. Well, yeah, I'm talking to you, so I believe it now. I'm talking to you, now I don't believe it. Now I'm going to be talking to you, so I kind of believe it. Joe Rogan's so flip-floppy, man.
Very much so. That's how he's built his audience. Very much so.
I used to really respect his opinion on a lot of that stuff, and the longer I've watched him, the more I've watched him. Like, you go like, oh, Joe, you're one of my guys on this, and then nope, he just flips right back, and then watching him do it with politics now, it's even worse. So
I started watching. I started listening to him because I drive all the time everywhere, and I've done that for decades now. And I would listen to his podcast while driving, and I went back to the original, podcast number 1 and 2. Where he was just, I remember it was like 20, 30 podcasts in before he got his first sponsor. Do you remember what his first sponsorship was?
It was like dildos or something, wasn't it?
It was fleshlights. And so he would give fleshlights out to his guests when they would show up. All right.
I'm sure Joe Diaz loved that stuff, man.
And so, yeah, he back then he was much more credible, but now, I mean, he's the highest paid podcaster in the world, so he's got to keep that momentum going. And yeah, at some point you just got to say, I got my nut. I'm going to step off this Ferris wheel.
Yeah, I anymore when I watch him, and if he gets on certain subjects, it'll be he'll just almost berate his guests. Now he's a great interviewer and all that, but sometimes he'll just start berating the guest on how wrong they are, and I'll be like, oh, do the research first or something, that'll bother me because I'll watch him talk out his ass sometimes. But and he didn't used to be that bad. It's just recently he's gotten that way with me, and it could be just because I'm looking at it through the politics eyes, because I've watched him flip flop on his politic positions in the last 2 years a lot, and so I just shit. John said he had an extra ticket, was going to invite me to Planet, and gave it away already.
He sent us a picture of his helmet that he made.
Let's see it. Boom, boom, boom.
That's pretty cool, Jonathan.
Well, I'll have to enlarge that a little bit here. Let's see.
You got to bigify it?
Oh, there. Yep. Nope. I see it. Y'all got it. Very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now on another conversation, I'm going to ask you about sizing on that, because I've got techniques I've been doing for trying to size helmets, and it's more work than I like. I'm trying to find a quick, easy way to size helmets, but
I don't know.
I printed a ring that helps, but the thing is the size of my printer, I have to slice up almost every fucking helmet anyway.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Right now I'm doing 3 different helmets. I got a C-3PO I'm doing because I'm going to be interviewing the new guy that plays C-3PO here in like 2 months. So I'm going to have him sign it. And then I got a new Iron Man one I'm doing, and then a 40K helmet. But the Iron Man one doesn't have to fit anybody, but the other 2 have to fit people. So.
Well, I'm looking up what the build volume is on his. His build volume is 270.
He's got a bigger plate than I do.
Yeah, 270. Mine's 256, and I think is yours 230?
I can't remember. Gabe said it so many times the last few days, I should know it. But,
yeah.
I just didn't memorize it. So, besides, I've looked at so many 3D printers. Since my birthday was Friday, my wife kept going, I'm going to buy you a 3D printer. I'm going to buy you something for my birthday. And I had no idea. I had no idea what I wanted to buy. I had talked myself out of a 4-color printer, and I decided I was going to wait on resin because Gabe's got his.
I do not believe that you would benefit from a multicolor printer.
I would be able to use it, but I would most of the time probably be using it as a 1-color, and just
you'd most likely be using it for filament run out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if let's face it, multicolor prints, for the most part, for what you like to print, helmets are different, but from what you normally like to print,
right?
A multicolor printer is not as good as your paint jobs.
Well, thank you. One of the reasons I'm doing helmets right now is because Gabe and I just ordered in 10 rolls of PET G, and that's what we're working.
PET G?
It's the first time I've worked with it. Gabe's been working with it already, and it prints so clean and so nice. Now that's all.
It does. It's a lot more durable.
It's a lot more durable. The reason I haven't been using it is because they say PLA shows more detail, and the stuff I print is like comic book characters and shit. So I want that detail. But now that I can print the faces on a resin printer,
and the fact that his printer is an enclosed printer, right?
Yes. Right.
So that's better heat management, because the PET G, you have to operate at a little bit higher temperature than PLA, which of course and because of that, you have more issues when it comes to errant drafts or temperature, maintaining the temperature, so you don't have lift from the build plate and stuff like that. So it's a little bit more finicky. I'm not saying it's unworkable. I'm just saying it's a little bit more finicky.
Okay. Real quick, Jonathan, what I should do, well, I got you right here and there's no cookie. If you're still on the stuff, Yeah, just join us up next week. Skype in with us, and you can tell us how Planet was. Because I'd be real interested to see what new elements they've added there and what big things were there.
Yeah,
If
we
you're
can just send
interested.
them the join link.
So I'm trying to read here. Just mean beer would have 4 rolls of the same color. I must have missed. Oh, sorry, I missed whatever
The
was
multi,
set up.
yeah, multi,
set up.
yeah.
Yeah, well, that was one of the things with the Pet G. Since Gabe and I just said, pick what colors you want because most of mine is just going to get painted. It doesn't. I think I kept one of the goldish yellow colors to maybe try doing that C3PO, but I know me is I'm going to want to paint the C3PO so I can put little rust, bits of rust running down him and shit. And so there's shit.
And that's like me. I predominantly print gray, and so I'm always buying black, white, and gray in double packs. But all the extra colors that you see behind me and stuff, I only use them when the situation warrants. Other than that, I don't touch them. Every once in a while, I'll throw them into the dehydrator so they're not getting too hydro full.
Gabe's teaching me a little bit on my slicers and how to start setting it up with my layer lines and almost more importantly, but printing certain pieces in different orders to where instead of like with the multicolor where it'll stop and poop, some of that you can just print totally separate and then do it that way. And so I'm learning a little bit of that to try to
You mean like print by object instead of print by layer?
Yes, print by object.
Yeah.
That's the expression I was looking for. Yeah. So
I've used that occasionally, but for the most part, my stuff is always monochromatic, and I'm slapping primer and paint on it. So
yeah. And see, the print in gray, some of the best filament I've found was a PLA Plus that's gray, prints beautiful detail, everything.
Yep.
The biggest problem I have with it is I prime in 4 different colors, an orange, white, gray, and black. But 80% of those are all gray, So when you have a gray pieces and you're trying to prime gray, it will fuck me up sometimes because I can't tell where I primed, where I haven't. I don't want to prime too much and fill too much detail in, So it's a love-hate with the gray. But
yeah.
All right. So now I'm reading what Jonathan's saying about his machine. All right. Having that said, though, we're at 8:08. Not that I didn't have other shit I could talk about, but I think I hit most of it.
Yeah, like I said, I had a long day today. I got home like right before I started getting stuff together for this, so I need to go and spend some time with my family and stuff.
Yeah, and I got to get to work. I was going to start off just bitching because I was outside working to the point where I almost called and said, I'm in the middle of a big job. I don't think I'm going to make it. But I decided not to do the nasty shit. But I got a room out back that is nothing but tents and stuff for Ren Fair. And so it's got canvas tents, pop-up tents, all sorts of shit in it. And I was out there fixing plumbing for Gabe's apartment, and I was smelling a smell. So I went back by the water heater to check it out, and a animal of some sort, a large enough, small dog-sized animal, got up onto my 10-foot by 20-foot canvas tent, died, and then Gabe's water leak sprayed water down the wall. So that 10-foot by 20-foot canvas tent, couple, probably $1,500 tent, just fucking gone.
You can't cart it off to the car wash and go at it?
I don't know. I haven't. That's the point I was at, where I got to drag this out, try to get that. But if I do that, I know I'm going to be showering for the next 3 hours, and then I won't make the podcast. So it was either do the podcast and deal with that tomorrow, because I'd clean the rest of the room out so I could drag the whole thing out. No.
This is the reason that we started doing this podcast. So we had a reason for our procrastination.
There you go. There you go. All right. We'll let you guys go. Everybody have a good time at Planet this weekend. Let us know how it was. And Great Plains is only fucking 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys in 3 weeks at Great Plains.
All right. Ciao.